Welcome to Take the Exit, the podcast where we explore the stories that intersect with transportation in Illinois. Welcome to Take the Exit podcast. I'm Bree Hankins. I'm the Bureau Chief of Communication Services at IDOT, and we have the pleasure of talking to Darby Sabo today, and I'll let you introduce yourself and your title.
Hi, I'm a maintenance lead worker for the Carlinville IDOT yard here in Macoupin County.
All right. So you have kind of an interesting career trajectory. Why don't you start by telling us how long you've been at IDOT, how you got here?
Yeah. So I've been here 10 years now. I did take a different path than probably most people to get here. If you believe it or not, I was a crop duster before.
So you're truly multimodal. You're a pilot.
Yes,
okay.
I am.
Wow.
I haven't flown in quite a while, but
I won't get on a plane with you currently.
Probably shouldn't right now.
Okay, good. Good to know.
No, so I started out joining the Air National Guard.
Okay.
Got into aviation that way. I was always around the ag community and heavy machinery community growing up. Loved all that stuff. I got a CDL as soon as I could, which is a requirement for this job. Mm-hmm. So did that, always helped out my friends and family with the farm and the excavation company. I ended up getting in the military doing the aviation thing, went to college to be a pilot at Southern Illinois University. I got a bachelor there in aviation flight and management. Got a job back in the ag community locally. Flew for them for roughly 7 years and realized that's a pretty dangerous job, so I wanted to try something else.
Okay.
And realized this is a dangerous job also. But
yes.
Anyways, started looking at IDOT, heard a lot of great things about IDOT, so applied and got the job, and 10 years later, here I am.
Here we are. So, as you mentioned, being a highway maintainer can be a dangerous job, and
yes, absolutely.
Depending on the season, there's different responsibilities that you have. So walk me through kind of season to season what you're doing.
We have a winter season and a summer season. The winter, obviously, we're taking care of all the snow, a lot of the trees. We're cutting trees, road work, patching, ditching, stuff like that. We like to work from the center line out. Okay. That's our main goal. Take care of the roads first, and then the drainage and the trees and everything else comes second and third. Summertime, all our snowbirds leave. They're here from November 15th to April 15th.
Okay.
That's kind of their window.
Yeah, talk about the snowbirds a little bit.
Sure. The snowbird's a great asset for IDOT. We run a 24-hour shift through the winter. We don't always work that, but you rotate nights every other week.
Okay.
So we need a guy on every route 24 hours a day, basically. That's why we have them.
And how many routes do you have in district in your area?
In my county, I have 10 routes.
Okay.
So we usually have about 8 or 9 snowbirds, and then we have 10 full-time guys. So we're usually not quite fully covered. A man may have to do a route and a half, 2 routes a night or whatever like that. But yeah, it's great to have them.
Keeping everything clear and safe.
And
in the winter months.
And make sure everyone gets home at night.
That's good. And where is the safest place for another car to be if you encounter a plow?
Most of the time we have to clear the entire road, and those plows are 12 feet wide, 11 or 12 feet wide. And then sometimes we have a wing plow that makes it 16 feet wide. So we can cover a lot of area, and a lot of times the plow has to be right on the center line or very near it, and that scares the traffic. But we want to work we want to melt and get the center line cleared because the road is, tapered, so that's how the water falls off. So you want to get that center to start and then work your way out. If you see a plow, just slow down and just either stop or pull over very slowly and just go around and let us do our job. I know it's slowing traffic down and may inconvenience people, but we're trying to get the roads clean and making sure everyone has a safe travel to work or home or wherever they're going.
As we say in the biz, don't crowd the plow.
Exactly. I like it.
Yeah. Okay, so that's winter, and you said you had a summer season. So
Sure.
which we're in right now.
Correct, yeah.
So what are your priorities right now?
So starts April 15th. The snowbirds, they go home. We focus on the all the new growth of the new trees, the potholes, and in the springtime, the fluctuation of the temperature. Illinois, it's very dramatic. It could be 100 degrees and 30 degrees in the same day, and that's terrible on the roads. We focus on the trees and then mowing. We're prepping for all the mowing and still continuing to do the ditch work and site problems and road patches and fixing shoulders, hauling rock. And at least 3 times a week, we patrol the roads, picking up anything that's maybe in the road. The dead animals, not a fun thing to do, but you have to do it.
Roadkill
Roadkill.
operation.
You have to keep those roads. Motorcycles, can hit a squirrel. Not
Yeah.
good. So we try to get everything off the road as best we can.
So you mentioned the wild swings in temperature that we have in
Yes.
Illinois.
Yeah, unbelievable, right?
Yes, and you also mentioned the unofficial state flower of Illinois, which is
The pothole.
yes.
Yes.
So what do you want people to know about potholes and how we fix them?
It's actually, there's quite a bit to it. It's the substructure underneath flexing, the ground not having a great base because of maybe too much rain or the concrete busted underneath it. That's what starts it, the pumping of the concrete, and then it makes a crack, and then that crack on the asphalt boils and stuff like that. We've tried multiple different lines of different asphalt with better bonding agency. We finally found a really good one you can throw in mud, water, everything, because that's the biggest thing. You want to get the pothole clean as you can, no water, and then drop the asphalt in there and pack it in nice and tight. But it's really just putting a Band-Aid on it because the substructure is ruined or damaged. Rain is terrible for potholes because liquid is not compressible. So when you're going 60, 70 miles an hour over a pothole and it's full of water, what does that water do? Smashes underneath that, and then that pothole keeps getting bigger and bigger. So water is the biggest enemy for our roads.
So I think what you're saying is there's no magic wand.
I wish I could
fix
tell you
potholes.
that there's a magic formula, but we have not found it yet.
Okay. So when you see people out there patching potholes, say thank you, because it's a never-ending
And
job.
I get it. I don't like them too, and I understand where people are coming from.
Yeah.
Fix the holes, and we do, and then they show back up in a week or two, and I feel bad because I take it to heart. When I try to fix something, I want it done right.
I believe that.
And my family drives on it as well as yours and friends. I want everyone to have the safest trip possible.
Yeah.
So I take it to heart.
That's good to hear. We care.
We care a little bit.
A little bit.
Yes.
Good to hear. Good to hear. When there's any kind of inclement weather, whether it's snow or there's a storm, or like, what are you thinking about ahead of time? What are you preparing to do? What are you anticipating?
We're very proactive here. We like to so multiple times a day we're watching the weather. We have a great weather DTN app and stuff like that. But say for instance we go out on a ditching job and we know it's going to probably snow or rain. So before we go, we'll hook some trucks up, plows, maybe preload some salt. But you have to be careful. Like you have to know if it's raining on the salt, so you have to put the trucks away so they don't get wet. They'll freeze the load. I mean, There's a lot that goes into that forethinking and being proactive. And every night in the winter, we hook all the plows up just because the Illinois weather. 10 minutes, it's going to be different. So we're ready to go there. Being out, like say we're out ditching or mowing or something like that, and the weather does come in. So you shut that job down. Everyone comes back to the yard here. We regroup, start sending guys out, and try to either maybe do some pre-spreading salt on bridges, stuff that's going to freeze first, slick corners, hills. Try to focus on those first, the dangerous areas, and then we can kind of spread out. Once we get those taken care of, then we spread out and kind of manage that.
Okay, so let's go back to summertime operations. We do a little bit here in Illinois of preserving the habitat of
Sure, yeah.
Pollinators and
Pollinators,
butterflies.
the wild, the prairie grass and stuff like
Yes.
that. Your natives. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. There's certain areas in our county, and I know there are in other counties too, that we no mow, no spray, or select spray, select mow. Try to help the natives grow and get rid of the invasive species. We have worked with DNR in the past, and I think there's some new guidelines coming down that we're going to be doing more of that for them because we're here. We see, we know where it's at.
So you mentioned you have to go out, and anything that ends up on the road, it's your job to clear it. What's
Yes.
the weirdest thing? Or maybe there's more than one thing you can think of.
There's a few things, but we do find some weirder things. The few that stick out is we found a llama got hit on the road.
Oh, no. What on earth?
Yeah, it was a pet of someone, I guess. I don't know. I found a couple armadillos in Illinois. Did you know we had armadillos?
I did not.
Yes,
I did not. Wow.
picked a couple armadillos up.
Okay.
We had a semi truck tip over. It was full of pigs, and they were running everywhere. So we were catching livestock.
Oh, wow.
On the road. Just stuff like that. It's just
day to day.
Just day to day. You never know
day.
what you're going to get into. You're picking that stuff up, or you're cleaning up an accident. There may be an accident on the other side of the county, so you have to shut down another crew, and we're in contact with the state and local police departments for rerouting traffic and shutting roads down and flagging and helping them clean up whatever they need. We're here.
So what does a typical day look like, or is there a typical day?
That's one great thing about this job. Every day is different.
Okay.
I feel like you got your stuff, like passing out orders in the morning,
Okay.
each jobs, and I'm every day picking jobs or driving around the county looking at stuff. After everyone gets their job and they go out, we call them the road runners, the patrolmen that,
Okay.
usually one or two. This is a pretty big county, so you got to cover a lot of area.
Okay.
But yeah, there are multiple dead animals, garbage, mattresses, you name it, it's out there. And I like to do that a lot because that stuff can cause major accidents.
Yeah.
And so that's that. Fixing potholes, shoulder work, adding rock to the shoulders. Yeah, mowing, site problems like today we have 3 different mowers out. There's intersections that the grass or trees have gotten too tall. So we're mowing them, making sure everyone can see, pulling out of their neighborhood.
Keeping everybody safe.
Yeah, exactly.
On the roads.
Yes.
You mentioned a little bit, you have a CDL. What are
Sure.
the requirements to be a highway maintainer?
The only requirement is you have to pass the physical and have a CDL.
Okay.
And it's very nice to have experience with bigger, heavy equipment. Sometimes everyone doesn't get that experience, and IDOT's good about other people. We've trained each other, and there's some classes that we can go to and get trained on stuff like that.
So you learn a lot on the job.
You learn a lot on the job, and it's great because you have like 10 teachers. This guy might know something a little bit more than this guy, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
And you get really well versed in a lot of things here, and that's why I love it. Every day's different, and it's a great job.
So what do you think it takes to be successful as a highway maintainer?
To be able to adapt to any situation at any given time.
Oh,
I may get here. We start at 7. Say, this was a couple years ago. 7 o'clock, 7:02. There was a wreck right here, so we all jumped in the trucks, go there. We had to adapt to the situation. There's glass everywhere. You're trying to help people, and then the next thing you know, it starts raining.
Oh,
And then
wonderful.
Then it starts freeze raining, and then it turns into snow.
Okay.
So you have to adapt to everything, and then there's a dead animal, so we have to divert there, and it's always something new
Okay.
every single day. So there's a lot of moving parts to just plow snow or clean up a wreck or anything like that. It goes way deep.
Yeah. So you respond to emergencies like crashes. What are some other examples of emergency situations that you would respond to?
Just the other day, the storm that came through, a tree fell across the highway.
Okay.
So we got to shut the road down, cut the tree up, move it off. Stuff like that. No accident, just a tree,
Yeah.
So
Preventative.
preventative, yeah.
What do you think people would be surprised to know about your job?
there's so much more behind the scene. I wish people could see that, like what it actually takes to get a snowplow truck ready.
Okay.
The salt box, the spinner, the wing plow, the plow, you have to fill it up with salt brine. It's the mixture that we spray on the salt that makes the salt work better in colder temperatures.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff nobody sees.
Mm-hmm.
They just see us out there just driving or mowing or flagging.
There's a lot that happens in the yard.
Oh my gosh, yes. So
before
much
you even
more
get out
before
there.
you even start the truck.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the most rewarding part of the job for you?
The most rewarding would probably be at the end of a storm or end of a flooding or something that we were able to open those roads for people to do business, to arrive at work and home safely, schools. When everything's working and everything happens because of what we did, makes me feel good.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. We thank you for that.
You're all right.
Helping
You're
us get
welcome.
everywhere on time.
Yeah.
So we recently had the Innovative Ideas Contest for our operations across IDOT.
Yes.
What has your staff ever come up with anything, a jig or something that makes your job easier, more efficient?
Yeah, we actually we won the innovation contest in 2020.
Okay.
One of the workers here, we have a brine tank. It's a liquid salt tank right behind the cab of the truck.
Okay.
Well, it's hard to see at night, so you don't know how much you have. So he put a light in the lid, and it lights that tank up, and you know exactly how much. And we submitted it in the video, and we actually, because you need to know how much you're using, because it costs a lot of money for that stuff.
Yes.
So now we know how much to add and stuff, and it's a really good idea.
So it's money saving.
Money saving, absolutely.
Makes your job easier.
And you don't spill it when you're filling it.
Okay.
Because a lot of times at night, you can't, the lights, and it might be snowing or raining or whatever, and you can't.
Yeah.
So
Elegant solution. Very simple.
very simple. Yes.
But talk about some of the other equipment. We've talked a lot about snow plows, but what's some of the other equipment that you're working with?
We have a skid steer, a mini excavator. It's called a Vactor truck.
Oh.
It's like for cleaning culverts. It's got a big vacuum, basically, and hydro excavation. So you can dig with water. It's a pressure washer and a vacuum. It's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Backhoe, road grader, the Durapatcher. That's the oil and emulsion and rock.
Okay.
We call it the hot box buggy. It's the asphalt buggy that heats the asphalt when we're filling potholes. That's a really, really handy tool.
Okay.
Because shoveling cold asphalt, I don't know if you've ever done that, but it is extremely hard.
You might be shocked to know that I have not.
Okay, so that's good.
Yes.
But when it's hot, it's pliable
Okay.
and very nice to work with, and it gets in the cracks better and stuff like that.
What would you tell someone who's interested in pursuing a career at IDOT?
I recommend people to apply for IDOT. It's a great place to work. They take care of you, the flexibility with your schedule. It's just we're like a family here. We do a lot of things that you become a family, actually, and it's nice. It's a great place to work, and I highly recommend it.
Very good. Well, thank you, Darby, for joining us on Take the Exit today. That's all for today. We're going to get out and you're going to show me around a little bit, right?
Awesome. Yeah, let's
all
do
right.
it.
So thank you.
All right. You're welcome.
All right. Thanks for riding along with IDOT. This has been Take the Exit. For more inside information on transportation in Illinois, find us on social media or idot.illinois.gov.